Hello everyone, my name is Molly, this is Meet Me at the Bookshelf, and today we're going to be doing the Positions book tag. This tag was created by Rachel over at Let Me in the Library. I will link her original video down below. And it consists of 14 questions, all relating to the album Positions by Ariana Grande. I love this album, I love books, so I'm excited to jump into this tag. Question 1 is Shut Up, a book that you couldn't shut up about. For me, that would definitely be A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro, and really the whole Sherlock Holmes series, which I absolutely love. In this world, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson were real people, and the two main characters in this story are each descendants of them. So Charlotte is the descendant of Sherlock Holmes and Jamie is the descendant of John Watson. They meet at a private school and are framed for a murder that happens on campus. So the whole first story is them trying to clear their name, figure out what happened, and they develop a friendship along the way. The main character's perspective is super interesting to read from. She's very antisocial. She's had a terrible family and home life and she struggles with substance abuse. I highly recommend both this book and the entire series, so if you haven't picked it up yet, give it a try. The second question is 34 plus 35, a book that you stayed up all night to finish. I vividly remember staying up till about 4 in the morning listening to the audiobook of 5 Dark Fates by Kendar Blake. It's the final book in the 3 Dark Crowns series, and I had checked it out via audiobook from my library and it was due the next day and I really wanted to finish it. And I remember laying in bed in the dark listening to it for hours, and like I said, I don't think I went to sleep until like 4 or 4:30 in the morning, so definitely 5 Dark Fates. The next question is Motive, a book that left you questioning everything. For me, that is definitely I'm Thinking of Ending Things by Ian Reid. This is a kind of eerie, suspenseful story about a girl who is contemplating breaking up with the guy that she's been seeing. They're both away at college and he invites her to go on a road trip with him to his family home and meet his parents. So the whole story, we're getting their dialogue while also getting her inner monologue about questioning, does she want to stay in this relationship? Things take some creepy turns, and if you've read this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the ending of this story definitely left me jaw on the floor, like, I can't believe what's going on right now. Confusing, not in the way of I didn't understand what was going on, but confusing in the sense that I had no idea that the story was going to take the turn that it did. It's really, really excellent, and my husband and I also watched the film adaptation, but I definitely enjoyed the book more. But yes, this book definitely left me questioning everything that I knew about the book. The next question is Just Like Magic, a book full of your favorite tropes. For this, I'm going to go with one of my all-time favorite romances, and that is My Favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. It's got the friends to lovers trope. It has a really cool friend group that's kind of like a found family dynamic. And we also get a lot of multimedia format in the book, so text messages and emails, which I really enjoy in books as well. Aside from the tropes, I really enjoyed the romance, and I highly recommend that if you are looking for a romance book to pick up. The next question is Off the Table, a book that raised your standards. For me, that is definitely going to be the Saga graphic novel series by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. I've only really gotten into graphic novels over the last couple of years, and this was the starting point for me. This was the first graphic novel series I picked up. Everyone on BookTube had raved about it, and so I figured this would be a good place to start. And even though I don't love a ton of sci-fi, this was incredible. The characters are amazing. There's so many cliffhangers, so many surprises. The artwork is incredible. The story is incredible. I laugh, I cry, and this really started me on my journey of graphic novels. The next question is 630, a problematic book that you loved anyway. For this, I'm going to go with The Unrequited by Saffron A. Kent. I picked this up on a recommendation from Chandler over at Chandler Ainsley, and she warned in her video that this was very dark and that there were several problematic elements. And she was definitely right about that, but I still really enjoyed my time reading it. There's definitely a lot of questionable content in terms of mental health, and the main relationship is just ridiculous and problematic, but I ate this book up and I enjoyed every second of it. The next question is Safety Net, a book that you knew immediately would get 5 stars. And I'm actually going to pick a fairly recent read for this, and that is The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. I read this about a week ago for an upcoming vlog that I am working on, and I was so blown away by this book. The character perspectives were super engaging, the social commentary was really well done, and I just really enjoy Mindy McGinnis's writing style overall. This was the first book from her that I have picked up, and It was incredible. I knew like 2 chapters in, this is going to be a 5-star read, and it totally held up. I just recommend it to everyone. Pick it up if you haven't. The next question is my hair, a well-known author that you haven't read from yet, but that you're interested in doing so. For me, that is N.K. Jemisin. I have heard outstanding things about her writing. This book, The City We Became, is probably going to be the first thing that I read of hers. It's on my 5-star predictions for this year. I also really want to read her Broken Earth trilogy. I've just heard fantastic things about it. But like I said, I think this is going to be the first book of hers that I pick up, and I hope to do so really soon. The next question is Nasty, a new release that you can't wait to pick up. Again, I've already spoken about this book in my 5-star predictions, but that is absolutely Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. Talia Hibbert is one of my favorite romance authors, and I have really enjoyed the first 2 books in this series. I've heard a lot of great early buzz about this from people who love the series, and quite a few people have said it's their favorite in the trilogy, so I can't wait to read it. We only have a few more weeks left before it comes out, and I cannot wait until this book arrives. The next question is West Side, and that is your favorite book series. I mean, I think I've talked about this series in every video so far. Not that I have a ton of videos out, but every video that I've released, I'm pretty sure I have spoken about this series. It is the Wayward Children series by Shauna McGuire. This is the first book, Every Heart a Doorway. Portal fantasy, so diverse, so great. Please, 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 if you haven't read these, pick them up. They're incredible. The audiobooks are great. The physical books are great. I love them so much. Please read this series. The next question is Love Language, a comfort book that you keep returning to. Now, for this question, I would really like to answer with a particular series that had been my favorite series for many years. Definitely my most reread series. Definitely my most comforting reads. But the author decided to be a big, huge asshole. I don't feel comfortable reading them anymore. I don't feel comfortable promoting them on my channel. So we are going to talk about the next in line in terms of comfort reads, and for me that is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I really enjoy the entire series, but number 1 is definitely my favorite and definitely the one that I have reread the most. I've read this 3 times already. I absolutely love it. It's so sweet, it's so soft, it's really heartfelt, the characters are great, I love the art style. It's super excellent. I highly recommend this if you are wanting to get into graphic novels, or even if you are into graphic novels and you haven't picked this up yet. This is something I think everyone will love. It is a male-male romance, so we have that queer representation as well, and these are just, you can't go wrong with this series, and I think I'm going to be rereading it for many years to come. The next question is Positions, a book that subverted a cliche. Now my answer for this question is not a book that I enjoyed, and it's not really a book that I would even recommend to anyone, but it was the first thing that popped in my mind when I read this question, and that is Credence by Penelope Douglas. The story follows a teenage girl whose parents die, and she is sent to live with her step uncle. It's her, I believe, her father's stepbrother and his 2 sons. She ends up developing relationships with each of the 3 men, so with her step uncle and his 2 sons. Tabooness aside, I will say that this was obviously a love triangle because she has things going on with all 3 of them and you don't really know who she's gonna pick. And for me, that is kind of the trope that was subverted, because anytime I read a love triangle, it's very clear and very obvious who the main protagonist is going to pick. And I can genuinely say that I had no clue in the story who she was going to end up with. I kind of had an inkling that one of them wouldn't be it, but I still thought he was kind of in the running. But between the other 2, absolutely no idea. Again, I don't really recommend this book to anyone, but it does fit the prompt for this question, so there you have it. The next question is Obvious, a book you loved from a genre that you don't typically read. For me, that was The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn, or is it Gillian Flynn? I don't read a lot of horror. I am a baby. I do enjoy like thriller and suspense, but I don't like really scary stories. I don't like watching scary movies. I don't like reading scary books, but this one was really short and I'd heard a lot of good things about it. It was excellent. It was super creepy. It was really easy to get through, and it was creepy, but it didn't creep me out as much as I kind of expected it to. So if you're kind of like me and you don't love horror, this might be a good place to start. And again, it's really short and easy to fly through. And the last question is POV, a book that you'd love to see written from a different point of view. I'm gonna go with Beach Read for this by Emily Henry. I did enjoy the main character's point of view, but I do wish that we would have gotten chapters from the love interest Gus as well. That's not a gripe that I typically have in romance or in any genre. I don't really care if there's a single point of view or multiple. I think I can enjoy a story either way. However, a big part of their romance was the fact that Gus had been like secretly pining for the main character for several years. They had actually known each other in college, and not getting that point of view from him, I really think dragged the story down a little. I think that that would have really helped us understand the hero a little bit better. And there were a lot of other things that happened in his past that we're told about, but that would have been really interesting to hear more of his like inner monologue about. So I don't want her perspective not included in the story. I just wish we would have also gotten his. All right, guys, so that does it for the Positions book tag. I really enjoyed this. Again, I will leave the original creators video down below. What are some of your guys' books that fit these prompts? Leave them down in the comments, and I will talk to you guys soon in another video. Bye.